Hello and welcome. Today we'll be talking about the P28 Oathkeeper from Brinyte. This light was sent out to me for review. This is the Desert Tan model. It runs on an 18650 battery, a proprietary one. That's also included with the kit. It's 3100 milliamp hour battery. Here we have on the table the box, the light, the lanyard that's sent with the light, the charging cable for the proprietary charging system, a couple O-rings, and the user manual cards. Now, this light has 6 different modes. It starts out in low for about 10 lumens for about 5,880 minutes. We have a middle run time for about 60 lumens for about 960 minutes, a high mode for 360 lumens for 210 minutes, and turbo mode for 1600 lumens for 1 minute, and then steps down to undisclosed amount of output for 109 minutes. It also features a SOS and a strobe mode. This light is rated for an IP68 rating, an impact resistance of 1 meter, and it weighs about 110 grams or 3.88 ounces, excluding the battery. Here we can see the aircraft aluminum on the P28. It's a Type 3 anodized coating. This light has 2 switches, a mode switch at the front here, and a tail clicky switch at the rear here. And it also features a charging port with the proprietary charging system to charge the included proprietary IMR 18650 battery. This is a 3100 milliamp hour battery. I've taken the tactical ring off. Here we can see the tactical ring has grooves here to line up with the tail cap here when you want to put it on the light. This little arrow here will line up with the grooves on the ring, and you simply tighten it down as you put it back together. Let's unscrew this and take a look at the threads here. We have some square cut threading here. This is the tail cap and the spring. And we'll go ahead and try to grab a light here on the side for a view of the inside. Let's see if you guys can see that on the camera. Kind of washes everything out, but you can kind of see the inside of the light there. Let's go ahead and put it back together and just briefly go over the modes with the light. Okay, so we changed the modes here, and it rotates in cycles, always in 4 modes here. So we have low, medium, high, and turbo. To access the strobe mode, you double click on the mode button here in the front twice again to cycle it to SOS, and then once to get out. You can also access strobe mode by half pressing and holding the second time with the tail cap. So 1, 2, and it gives you a instant strobe just via the tail cap, which is kind of a nice little part of the UI there. This does have memory mode, so if I turn it off in low mode, it will come back on in low mode, or whichever mode you've left it at. It does feature a LED inside the actual mode button here, so when you last use the light, it'll turn on after a few seconds so that you can find the light, and it will remain on as long as the battery is inside the light. This is a default setting. You can turn this off by clicking this a few times. I forget how many times it takes, but you can disable that so that you can save battery power. I still have it enabled on this light here. I'm going to go ahead and get some beam shots of this outside. Okay, we're out in the backyard shooting at an aperture 6.3, 24 frames per second. ISO is 2500 with a white balance of 5000 Kelvin. This is the light. I'm going to turn it on low mode here. And this is my hand in front of the light, about maybe a foot away, and we're about maybe 7 inches in front of the lens here. Let's go ahead and bump it up to medium mode. You kind of see about 10 to 20 feet in front, and I'm going to bump it up to high mode. So you got a nice hot spot there. And I'm going to go to turbo. You can kind of see the throw out there pretty far out. That's about 50 feet or so out there. This is on turbo mode right now. Here we can see the charging system of the Brinyte Pt28. This is the proprietary cable going into the light and charging the battery inside the light. We're charging at about 1 amp or so at 4.94 volts. And here we have the cable, which does have an LED inside of it. I'll disconnect it, and it has an LED in the center to show you that there is current active inside the cable. When you touch the cable, there's a light on the front of the switch here, the front switch, which will change colors. If it's not positioned right, it'll stay orange. If it's positioned correctly, it'll go through orange and then to red, signifying that it is charging. Now, if this moves, it's a bit finicky. It has to be on there directly to show that it's charging. It'll turn red, and then after it's done charging, it'll turn green here on the light. As you can see right now on the camera, it's red. And that's how the charging system works with the Brinyte P28. Some final thoughts on the P28 Oathkeeper. Overall, I like the light. It's got a good aesthetic design in my opinion. I like the logoing on the tube here, and I like the coloring. I like the fact that it has a front switch mode changer with a LED inside the switch to show you the charging status, the battery status, and as a marker at night that you can program on and off so you can save battery power if you want. I like the charging port on it with a external proprietary system. Although not my favorite type of system, it does work fairly decently and is small and compact, and you can charge the battery inside without having to take it out, which is kind of a nice thing to have. The trade-off with this kind of port system that they're using, as opposed to a rubber USB-C type of port with a rubber cover on it, is that this might short out against metal objects, so I'm not sure if they have any sort of electronic protection inside the light that can prevent that from happening. That being said, I don't like rubber ports either, because the rubber tends to break over time as you access it. Simply the best way to charge batteries, in my opinion, with the light is through an external charger, but that may not be always a tactical or a feasible thing to do in the field. So this is a nice thing to have with the light built into it with the proprietary cable. That being said, I also like the smooth reflector in here. The Cree LED is not my favorite type of LED, but it does work fairly well. And there are slight artifacts, or not artifacts, but rings because of the smooth reflector. It's not it doesn't give you a smooth, I guess, light diffusion around the hot spot, but that's okay. If you're outdoors using this in a tactical fashion, that's not going to matter much anyway. The crenulations in the front are pretty decent. I like them. They're not too sharp, so you won't cut your gloves or clothing with it. Not that I've ever encountered anything sharp before on a light, but it's nice, not as aggressive as the other designs, and I don't think it's necessary with this 18650 light. The pocket clip here is nothing to write home about, but it does have a strong retention to it. I wouldn't carry this in my front pocket as a pocket carry light. I just carry it as more of a in a bag and take it out when I need to use it, or in the included holster, which I forgot to mention before. This comes with a holster here, so this can fit in there, and does have a little side pouch part, I guess, for the cable or some other accessory. And I'm going to try this out in my belt as well. So this does come with a holster as well as the other accessories, including the ring and the lanyard. And on sale also, this goes for about $80. You can get a coupon on Amazon to get another light with it for free. So like a buy one, get one free kind of deal. I'm not exactly sure how that works. You want to check that out online. But I was able to get this little copper pill light, a 1018 light, for free with the P28. So overall, I'm impressed. I think it's a decent buy for that price of about $80, especially during the Christmas season. If you can get it, try it out and look at it. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the P28 Oathkeeper. If you're into a nice sturdy tactical ring type of light, this is the light to look at and try out. Thanks for watching, guys.